Thanks for getting out of bed this morning. It's a challenge. My 19-year-old Marcus was still there when I left, so congratulations to all of you. It's also a privilege to be in a great college. You've got a great ethos here at Laurence. I know it, I've seen it, I've felt it. You encourage excellence and you encourage service. You take two values out of your school experience. They're two pretty good values. You've also been privileged this morning to hear, I think, a terrific set of stories about the opportunities available to you in life. Bob on the outset, centrality of education. My simple vision as Prime Minister was we wanted to build the best educated, best skilled, best trained workforce anywhere in the world. And you know something? That's our future. That's why that vocation, and those of you who are teachers here, actually belong to the most important vocation in the country. And within that, the absolute and paramount importance of science, which is what Mike reminded us of. Unless we're at the cutting edge of science and technology and innovation, well, frankly, there's a very simple league table around the world these days. Those who are good at those things and those who are not. And that's why science, technology and innovation are brilliant careers for anyone with the skills, the aptitude or the interest. When we were reflecting on corrections just a minute ago, I remember years ago working in the Queensland government and then being confronted with the chairman of the then Queensland Corrective Services Commission who gave me one appalling statistic. I'm talking about 20 years ago. When he said that 62% of the male prisoners in Queensland were functionally illiterate and illiterate. It goes back to the centrality of education. And one of my passions about ensuring that we don't allow any child to emerge out of the Australian school system without functional literacy and functional numeracy. This is the best guarantee to keep people out of the correction system. It's the best guarantee of all. Also, the extraordinary opportunities available at multiple levels of government. I didn't even know that Helen Abrahams had been a doctor, so I will come for a free consultation soon.
I'm deadly.
Oh, Helen, we know that. But I didn't know it in a medical sector. But there is a real vocation in what Helen was saying about service to the local community. It is an enormously satisfying thing as a person to drive around a city, a state, or a country around the world and see where you've materially made a difference for the better. And frankly, that all begins from the ground up here in this local community. Also, Jackie's story about what you can do at the level of state government. She was enormously privileged to work together with Anna Bligh for so many years. She was an extraordinarily innovative Minister for Education, as well as the other portfolio she held within government, as well as being a very dearly loved member of this local community here. But she had the vision to take Queensland education forward, and Jackie was part and parcel of that team. A few words about basic principles, a few words about how I've sought unsuccessfully to apply them in my own life. The basic principles, guys, I'm going to give you 5 of them. Number 1, as you're thinking about what you do in life, spend some time here at school and after you leave on working out what you believe in and why. What are your values? What's the core of your being? Because when life gets difficult, that becomes your moral compass when things don't always turn out smoothly. And it's really important that you spend some time doing that. And it's a very encouraging environment for doing that here at Laurence. Number 2, I've been talking to the guys up here about why they're studying economics over breakfast. The second principle is, what are you really passionate about? What lights up your lights? What makes you get out of bed in the morning, apart from mum and dad telling you it's time to get out of bed in the morning? What causes you to have an extra spring in your step? You go across all the subjects that you're studying, all the things that you may see in the social media, the general media at present, all your community engagement. What is it that says, when I do that, I lose track of time because I enjoy it so much? The psychologists, by the way, call that flow. I'm married to a psychologist and she tells me that's what flow is. But it's a really important thing, as in the flow of a stream. It's a really important thing because what you are passionate about inevitably is going to be that which you are best at. Principle number 3, none of us are geniuses. None of us. And therefore, all of us have got to work our guts out to be terrifically good at the things that we're passionate about. Have you ever watched some of those voice competitions on TV? You know, the ones that get people go up and sing and all that sort of stuff, and you work out people who are really passionate and they've done no voice training at all, and it just sounds horrible. It's great to be passionate about something, but you've got to work your guts out in order to be as best as you can at it. As I said, none of us are natural geniuses. The fourth principle is a bit like this, is that the happiest people I have met anywhere in the world, from villages in southern Africa to the local community over here at Balmoral, where we met together the other night to work out our position on the proposed sale of School Oval. The happiest people I meet anywhere in the world are those who are giving back to their community, giving back to their city, giving back to their state, giving back to their country, or giving to the world. You know why? People are just looking after numero uno, that's number one. Frankly, once they've got all they want to get in life, they're pretty grumpy. The saddest and grumpiest people that I meet in life are those who are just concerned about themselves. Principle number 5, final one, which is you guys can change the world. You really can. It's not just some sort of cruddy line. It's not some cruddy line from K-Rod about trying to make you feel good Tuesday morning over breakfast. Lift up your vision beyond the trenches, and whatever your passions are, you can change your community, your city, your country, and the world. You're in economics. There's a guy that I got to know who was a student over at Balmoral High School, the other side of Melbourne, only about 15 minutes drive from here. And when I got to know him first when he was in year 10, he was thinking about doing economics. He went on and he finished his economics. He then went on to study economics at the University of Sydney. He then did his PhD in economics. He's now got a senior position with the International Monetary Fund. He's just a local guy, you know, and no particular sort of airs and graces about him in terms of his background. Not a lot of money to the family. But he was passionate about those things and, you know what, through the International Monetary Fund, based on what he was changing the world. And I know, can give you a list of hundreds of local young people who I have met in my position as Prime Minister, as Australians, all across the country and across the world, who are changing the world and making it a better place. And they're all local kids, like you. And they've never had a view in their mind that, oh, woe is me. All I'm going to do is look after myself and those immediately around me, and I can have no influence on the world. You can. There are 1,000 examples out there. Before Ian scratches his ear, let me just give you one small story about me growing up. When I was in year 12, only 5 or 10 years ago, the words know when Jack betrayed Winston's. It's an unbelievable line. Okay, 10 or 20 years ago. I didn't have a clear idea at all about what I wanted to do in life. I had two passions. Going back to my first principle, what are you passionate about, what are you interested in? One was this. I wanted to do something in life which caused Australia to have a much closer engagement in Asia. Because I saw that as being so much of the problems of our past and so much of what we could do better in the future. The other thing I was passionate about, and I mean really passionate about, was a sense that there are a whole bunch of people, like those who Helen met in the hospital in Townsville, who are not getting a fair go. And mine was a very personal experience. My father died, he was killed in an accident, and then suddenly we got asked to leave the farm that we were working on, and we literally had nowhere to stay. I remember sleeping in a car. It's a very degrading experience, it's a very humiliating experience when you've got actually nowhere to go. And as someone who had no politics in their background at all, this actually set in me a very deeply wired sense of whatever I do in life, what I later learned was called social justice, was going to, in other words, making sure everyone gets a fair go, was going to be part and parcel of it. I went off to university eventually, and I studied Chinese language and studied Chinese history. I then applied, and much to my complete surprise, was admitted as a career diplomat in the Australian Department of Foreign Affairs. I Having worked in China for some years and worked out how we could perhaps carve out a different future for ourselves, worked out that there were limits to what you could do as a public servant. In my case, there was a greater role to be involved in public advocacy. Having come back to Queensland and worked for a while, I was elected to the Parliament, and then was able to pursue that in my parliamentary career and subsequently as Prime Minister and Foreign Minister, and do something about social justice on the way through. But you know something? None of that is clear from day one. What was clear from day one was what I was quite passionate about, and they stick with you through life, even when you go through the hard times. The ear now having been scratched, I will close at that point.